Quick, I want to hear a message from the former first black lady.
I know people are discouraging rhetoric like "I told you so," but you guys, she did tell us so. You spent over 107 days traveling the country, warning us about Project 2025 and the effects that it would have not only on the cost of living but goods
A lot of white
and what it would actually define as our citizenship. Given that he has been detailed the 900 pages of his playbook, what can we do as Americans to prepare for the ongoing attacks, or at least to mitigate them?
Hey, MC, I know you haven't seen this. What do you think she's going to say?
Get out and vote.
I mean, that's one thing, but do you think she's going to say anything else? Or
she probably going to say a bunch of babble that doesn't really mean anything. I never know what's going to come out of her mouth, but it never really relates to the topic. She's not great at answering questions.
Nice pantsuit.
Well, first, let's speak truth about the fact that, as you said, Kenny, this playbook is a playbook that has been in the works for decades. So don't be duped into thinking, oh, this is just something that is the fancy of some wild thoughts that happened overnight. There have been a lot of people planning for the moment that someone would be in the White House to implement what we are witnessing. Mm-hmm. And it may feel chaotic, and certainly the tariffs are, but be very clear. This is mostly not chaos we are witnessing. It is high velocity implementation of a long-standing plan.
Pause it real quick.
And so,
oh my God.
For the record, the question was, what can we do about this? She has not answered that question yet.
Yeah. She's still in word salad mode.
This is crazy.
Let's be clear about an agenda that is at foot, because this fight against what is happening that is hurting people, yes, it will be about the next election, but it's bigger than that. It's about seeing where the tracks are being laid in a way that we know that we have to address them and be prepared for the consequences if we don't have a counter plan, which includes making sure that we get people out to vote, which means making sure that people.
You said it.
It just took her so long to get there. Like, I find myself getting more and more. Have you ever asked somebody a yes or no question, but you get a whole essay instead of the yes or no you were looking for?
Yeah.
That's pretty much her. That was pretty much her campaign. You could ask a direct toss up, and the interviews that she scheduled for herself with the scripts, and they were all scripted. She knew the questions beforehand, and she still didn't answer the questions. Like, what are we doing here? Seriously, what are we doing?
There's here it is. I wanted to play this one, actually. I thought it was going to be that. I thought it was going to be the one I just played, but this one is actually pretty important.
I think it's super important that we have more women elected leaders.
There it is.
Well, what I think is more important is to make sure the Black women are uplifted. What are you going to do since you're finally clocking back in to uplift Black women?
Okay, real quick, we have a do I got a soundbite for this? I don't think I do, actually. Nope, I don't. So, but anyways, we have someone, a zesty rainbow dude, and again, I don't care about what you do in your bedroom. It is what it is. I don't care. You don't ask about mine. I don't ask about yours. Okay, we're good. But we have a black man asking a black woman, what is she going to do to uplift black women? This is crazy to me. This is why you want to know why the black community isn't going to survive, because it's BS like this. This has nothing to do with uplifting just black women. And if that was the case, what happened these last 4 years when she was with Joe Biden? I mean, what were they doing? Were they not uplifting black women then? Just because Joe Biden put the most women on the benches, that's supposed to be an accomplishment? What that do for all the other black women out there? Nothing. This is why you can't listen to you can't put a lot of stock in the Democrats, especially with Kamala, and they're talking about uplifting black women. This is why they lost. They played identity politics, and this is why they lost.
It doesn't work anymore. run those policies. All I care about is what policies are you trying to push. Don't care about any of the extras.
Facts.
Well, first of all, I want to remind all women and Black women in particular that there is still so much ground to be broken. And know that you have support. Know that, again, that people will applaud you for taking that step to think about running for office and to run for office. Know that I applaud you, as do so many, for you to have the ambition to know that you've got something at stake and you're prepared to lead because you have a voice and an opinion and a stake in the decisions that will be made through that office, whatever the office is that you seek. And that your voice is important, that you have and bring to that platform, those microphones, a lived experience that must be reflected in the decisions that will impact so.
He looking at her like, bitch, what is you talking about? That's not what I asked you. Like, I didn't ask for a whole word salad. I didn't ask for you, like, give me all the superlatives. I'm asking you, like, what are Black women, what do they need to do? You're giving me these good vibes conversation. This is, and she yammers for the next 2 minutes on this as well, too. But I mean, you know what? We might as well just make this the last segment, though, because this chick is so annoying.
We could let her talk and she'll just keep talking for the next hour saying absolutely nothing.
Yeah. So there's definitely some issues that, like I said, whenever the Black community gets brought into this, we have to pick better. We can't pick people based off of like Kamala Harris. She was like the biggest phony fraud out there. This woman was cosplaying as a Black woman. She, prior to Joe Biden tapping her, pause, she was Indian. It was Indian Area Pacific, what was that, Asian American Pacific Islander, whatever that is, whatever the acronym for that is. It was 100% that. This is one of those things where Black people, we fall or we get duped, or maybe it's on purpose. Maybe it's like we just allow it to happen, though, because we get duped by Kamala Harris, and then we're like surprised that Kamala Harris doesn't rock with Black people. Kamala Harris said out of her mouth she's not going to do reparations. I don't know how that just slid. Like, let's just walk, and everybody's like, well, she said that before, but we don't know that now. And nobody pushed her on it. Nobody pressed her on it. But when Byron Donalds shows up in the barbershop to kind of talk policy with Black men, they're asking about reparations. And when he's like, I'm not about the whole reparations game or scam, he's like, and everybody's like, oh, I don't want to listen to him now. I'm like, you don't even ask Kamala Harris for this BS. Why are you trying to push Byron Donalds on it?
Hey, pull that article up I just shared with you and scroll down to the graph real quick. I want to prove a quick point. Because one of the other things that the Dems will tell you to get you to be fearful and vote for them is that you'll be a lot safer when it comes to policing when they're in charge.
Mm-hmm.
Attached here, you will see a graph that shows the number, and obviously the black bars in the middle represent, by race, the number of people that were killed by the police in the United States.
Yikes.
If you look at those numbers, there's absolutely no difference based on who the president was. None. So we've already taken that away. So they're going to use fear and emotions to get you to vote for them. But you got to start looking at these numbers and saying, hey, you promised this, but this ain't happening. I'm not one of those people that thinks the Democrats are wrong about everything. They just happen to be wrong about the things that matter the most to me, which is family. Mm-hmm. They're a very anti-family party as far as I'm concerned. I think Michelle Obama put that on full display when she openly told wives that they ain't got to discuss politics or anything of importance with their spouses. That was as pretty much as wide open as it was going to get. And then when you start looking at the people who are leading that party right now, take a look at how many of them have functioning relationships with the opposite sex in their personal lives.
Yeah, or even have kids.
Yeah. And she kept talking about women and black women. I would have asked her to define what a woman is. Mm-hmm. And then I would have watched her put her foot in her mouth again, because now we're to the point where they're going to let these people who are men masquerade as women, and they're going to give them the same rights that all you women are fighting for.
Yeah. Yeah. So and the black community gets pushed to the bottom. Another community steps up, the black community gets pushed down, and it's convenient and easy to blame black or not black, but blame Trump and Republicans in general. But Republicans, like I'm telling you right now, and you can mark my word on it. Once we get past this whole tariff situation, the economy is going to boom. Like anyone that has money in the market, you're going to make that money back in most cases. I don't want to get out here and say 100%, but depending on where you're invested in, and as long as you haven't touched it, you're going to make the money. You're going to be able to. I mean, new jobs are going to open up, or more American jobs are going to open up. So that should be new jobs in America. So, and we've seen a lot of companies, that will, that have committed to a large investment in the United States, which is funny that Joe Biden could have did this. Well, actually, I take that back. You at least think he will get one of them done. But the Democratic Party, honestly, though, I mean, I guess the ultimate question is, will the Democratic Party be able to contend in 2028, though? Because if Kamala runs in 2028, they're cooked. If AOC runs, they're cooked. If oh boy in California, what's his name? Gavin Newsom, they're cooked. I don't know who they're going to pick. I mean, and Stephen A. If Stephen A is their best pick, they're in a lot of trouble. Oh man,
I think it's going to be Mark Cuban. But now that Trump has come out and said he would love to see Stephen A run for president, now I'm kind of wondering what his intent was behind saying that. I think maybe he said it because it might be an easy dub for JD Vance when it's his time. But I think it's going to be Mark Cuban. I really do.
Yeah. So we'll definitely have to stay on top of this though. But we did a slight pivot. We had an Officer Tatum queued up, but Kamala's hijinks they tend to overshadow the conversation in most cases though. So all right, let's go ahead and wrap it up. So pause. Any last words, MC?
No, we had to take a week off because your boy had to renew his vows to his wife. 16 years in this thing, 25 together. I'm just trying to be better. We both trying to be better. But you know what? It felt good when my wife stood up in front of everybody and acknowledged me being head of the house and how easy it was for her to stay in her feminine because of the work I'm doing in my masculine as a leader. When she publicly declared that in front of other people, it shows that I'm leading my house appropriately. Everybody's safe and happy and taken care of. So I'm proud of that. So I want to throw that out there.
Yeah, I've definitely said this before to you offline though, but there definitely needs to be a conversation about like maybe a marriage series or something like that, because I definitely think you and your wife you have something that a lot of people are definitely chasing or at least looking for, and they need to see people that are actually doing it. And Black wife, so you're more than qualified to have this conversation about Black marriages, which I know a lot of people will definitely want to go a different direction. You can't tell me, or this is how it is though. But at the end of the day, you show how it can be done, and a lot of people that strive, if they really care about the Black community, the best way to show the Black community is get married and have a Black child. Like, I don't understand what people are doing. I mean, you can, mix kids or whatever, but ultimately what they're looking for is, Black wife and or Black spouse, and then you have a Black kid. That's how you grow the Black community, not this Planned Parenthood BS.
I'll tell you, TR, I have a panel of Black wives who are lined up and ready to have a panel discussion. We have some great plans for this channel once we grow it out. But we definitely got some things in the works. But I got 4 Black wives who are ready to shock the world and give some real deal talk when we reach that point. But we need to keep growing right now. So please like and subscribe.
Definitely. All right, everybody. I'll see you next week, or we'll see you next week.
Peace.